Warning, the following video will freak you out. You'll be like, whoa, wow, that's totally bananas. Well, maybe not totally bananas, maybe this much bananas, a small amount of banana. That is how freaked out you will be. Hear a kick drum in a sampler with a kick on every beat. A kick drum quantized on every single beat. Long, it is also very long. The kick runs from one kick into the next. There is no gap between kicks. So if I bounce this out as an audio track, kapow, like that, all looks okay, kind of looks like it's happening on mouse. What you doing, lunatic? So it all looks okay, everything looks like it's happening in time, and in fact the first kick looks good, and on first glance the second kick also looks good. But if we zoom in, say what? Wowzers trousers, look at that. You can see, because this is the line where it should be, you can in fact see with the MIDI clip up there. There you go. Oh, well, that's a million times easier showing you like that. Ooh, look at that, everybody. Look at that. And I'm going to change the color to make it more dramatic. Green's a great color, but it's clearer with white. Look at that. Now, can you see the problem here? The kick is a little bit delayed. There's, I think it's about 1 millisecond, might be 2 milliseconds. It's approximately 1 or 2. It's a 1 millisecond delay. Mouse, it's a 1 millisecond delay, which of course isn't the biggest of deals in the world. In fact, it's quite a small deal, but it is still not ideal. Whereas for comparison, the very first kick comes in exactly on time. You can see that is 2 milliseconds, and so the kick is indeed coming in precisely where we told it to. Remember, we told it to come in when the MIDI clip started. So the first kick is okay, but then in fact, it turns out that all the other kicks are 1 millisecond offset. These three kicks are 1 milliseconds, not where we told them to be. Naughty kicks. As for why, I will explain in a few moments' time, but maybe to demonstrate, what I'm going to do is create an additional thing to look at. Now, this should give you the same result. So it's the same thing, but split across 2 channels with these gaps. Notice what happens as I bounce these to audio. Bazinga. Zoom. Now, take a look at this. Now, the track heights are different. That's a weird. Make it look consistent. Yeah, I think that's the same track height. Anyway, can you see that now? So let's go in on number 2. Can you see how with this different approach, the kicks actually now come in on time? See, now the kicks are coming in exactly on time, whereas the first way we did it, there was this 1 millisecond delay offset, which is bad. And then the same over here. See, it's on time now. Wow, cool. Now my kick drums are doing what I told them to do. Whereas before, they were bad kicks, what you doing? And so what is happening here? Basically, because of the way the computer works, with all the computery things, pretend I am a sampler. Now, if I'm a sampler and I want to play a sample, if that sample is already playing, it's going to take me 1 millisecond to restart it. Because if I'm already playing it, I can't instantaneously restart it. It takes me, as you can see here, 1 millisecond to restart it because I'm a sampler, and that's just apparently what I do. Option A, make sure the sample is finished before the next one is triggered, but that's not very good. In this case, that doesn't really work too well because I want the kick to go all the way through each beat. So I can't do that. There's no real way to make that practically happen. I mean, yes, I suppose what I could do is slightly shorten these guys, shortcut, and then play around with the attack, decay, sustain, release to make sure the sample just finishes before the next one starts. But that's so much hassle that ain't nobody got time for that. So what I would do instead is actually convert to audio. This is one of the many reasons I prefer audio. Well, MIDI can be good, but you always want to then convert to audio to make sure everything works correctly. Same with plugins for these sorts of reasons. So what I would do is, well, I mean, I probably wouldn't even use a sampler in this case. Let's say there's an actual reason I'm using a sampler and not just an audio clip in the first place. Maybe I am doing, so yes, let's be more specific, multiplier. Let's say I'm doing attack, decay, sustain, release to shape the amplitude of this kick. So I don't want to spend ages playing around with that, so we'll pretend that sounds good. So I'm using the features of sampler, which I suppose I could do with audio. In fact, I can do with audio, but maybe for whatever reason, I prefer to use a sampler in this case. And so what I would do is bounce this guy, well, let's duplicate. I would bounce this guy to audio, something like that. And you can see I've shaped the volume. See, it's offset, which is bad. And so what I do is delete with the delete button. And then good. So they applied a little fade at the end. First step, I would actually double check to make sure there's no click at the end of that. Oh, there is. So fade. My voice went weird then. Cool. Fantastic. So there's also no click at the end. Remember before? Subtle click, which is not what I want. So do that and then hit duplicate. Command D to duplicate. And then if I'm super cool, well, let me prove to you timing wise. See, now it comes in exactly on time. Cool. And then what I would do is maybe just for funsies and ting, I would create that into a loop. So consolidate, writing it out as a brand new clipperoonie. Which I just hit the loop button. I did that really fast. I've had a lot of caffeine today, so that's a relentless number 3. Not a sponsored video. I just really like caffeine. Get rid of that fade right at the front. That's what I did there. Because remember, often if you have this parameter, where's it gone? Create fades on clip edges. Then every time you consolidate, it adds in new fades on the end. So you got to be really careful when working with drums because you want that transient right at the front. So I've written this out as a little clipperoonie, and then I hit the loop button so you can loop it, and then you can easy peasy drag it out like that, and then you've got an instant banger that you can just bang to or listen to, or whatever you want to do. Look at that. Instant tunage. Get rid of that. Do it on that. That's all out of time. It's all out of time. Turn off that loop. I don't need a loop tool. I'd just play it forever, and then this is my new song. It's called I Believe in Kick Drums. And it's just minimalism. It's minimal. Words can be difficult. It's minimalistic. It's minimal big room techno house step with influences from the Baroque period. Is it Baroque or Baroque? I don't quite know. I'm not a music expert. But no, yes, that is. I'm just being silly now. So, but yes, the interesting, right? It's a cool little. I'm not sure what I'm going to title this video. Is it a bug or is it just a function of the way that the DAW works? It's not a feature. I'm going to call it a bug. As when I place a MIDI clip, that's where I place it. Is where I want the thing to start, not 1 millisecond later. I mean, actually, let me clarify something. So, just in a normal situation like this, 1 millisecond literally doesn't matter for the same reason that when I first hit play and it was a millisecond offset, or the 2, the 3, and the 4, when the 2, the 3, and the 4 were offset, you didn't hear it as out of time. However, when you start to layer, that's when every millisecond counts. Layering is when this starts to become an issue. If you're, say, layering a thing on top of the kick, maybe it's a click, maybe you've got a body of a kick, maybe you're layering a top layer, a thing on top of the kick, then if your kicks are all jiggly-piggly, that's not a word. If your kicks aren't in time, then your top layers, which may be in time, won't line up, or they'll line up in different ways every time, and that'll be bad. So basically, the roundabout way of saying this is only really important, that was quite an aggressive point, this is only really important when you start to layer things on top of it. Fantastic. So knowledge into your brains, something to consider. Catch you guys on the flippity flip. This video is sponsored by me, my website. As you can see here, I have a whole range of things available, from Serum presets through to Serum tools, samples, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Do check it out, link below, multiplier.music.com, and/or subscribe. Thanks for watching.